Jeremy like leaning in the few seconds leading.
Hey internets, it's Jake from Mini Terrain Domain, and this is Welcome to Paradise, Michigan. Our Kids on Bikes role-playing game set in the fictional town of Paradise, Michigan in 1980 something. This is episode 29, This Old House. And this is our penultimate episode of the season. After tonight, there is just one more episode, the finale. In just a few moments, we'll have a little bit of a recap, and we will dive into this episode and let the hauntings continue. A couple super quick announcements. Real quick, if you look up above Tamiko and M's head, up there in the upper right-hand corner, you will see plus 40 and then a domain pop. In fact, I believe we are owed another one of those. Domain pops are the domain dice for this particular game. It's a way that you, the audience, can have an influence on the game. The players can use these pops whenever they roll dice. They can use them as pluses for each one they spend. They get a +1 to their dice roll. Or they can choose to spend 5 of the domain pops to make themselves or anybody else roll on the D100 mystery grab bag table, where only good things happen, unless it's something bad. So we've had a few of those pop up here and there, and those get worked into the storyline as well. I like it. As everybody knows, I am fond of the D100, and I often have people roll D100s for a variety of reasons. Let's see. What else do we got? It is, at the time of this episode airing, and right now it is November 9th. We are reaching the end of the year, which means some of our shows will be going on hiatus. We are expecting to run some one-on-one interlude episodes for Scribes and Scrolls, as we do every year at this time. Those will be pre-recorded in most cases and run every Monday night in December. Otherwise pretty much every other game will go onto hiatus, so we can take the month of December off, relax for a few weeks before we come back in the new year. But until then, you can still catch us starting, we're scheduled for next Tuesday, every other Tuesday. Sky Metal Iron Gods is our Pathfinder 2e, that's a D&D adventure. We wrapped up our Mythos Investigators game, and we're looking at scheduling a sort of Q&A wrap-up of the Lawlerville season. Next week, we've got one more episode of this. Then we take a break for the American Thanksgiving week, and then we will be back on, I forget what day that is. It's like the 30th or something like that.
Yay.
For a final episode that's sort of one of these in between. It'll be sort of a live, you'll have to wait and see what it is. Even the players don't fully know what it is, but it's sort of a intermediate, getting some questions and answers for the upcoming arcs and upcoming season, but doing it in character. So it'll be a fun couple hours that'll set things up for the new season following the season finale. I can't think of anything else. So just a reminder that these games can get pretty intense, especially with these. Now that we've gotten into Stapler House, there are lots of horror elements, including body horror, graphic depictions, blood, gore, violence, possible references to self-harm, things like that. We want you to be fully aware that these kind of things can occur. If that's something you do not want to experience, please head on over to youtube.com/mini-terrain-domain. Check out any of our other games. Head over to Dice on Ice RPG on or Dice on Ice on YouTube. Head over to Erasmus Expeditions. Head over to Nerdarchy. Look up Dice Tales. There's pretty much all of us have stuff going on all those channels. and lots of other stuff that you can watch if you're not into that stuff. With that in mind, know that we, the players, we keep one another safe. We know what our lines and veils are, and we do our best to respect those lines and veils, but we also have safety tools in place that we use to make sure that no lines are crossed, or if those lines are towed, that we can let one another know and take care of ourselves at the table. We encourage you to do the same thing at your own games. Speaking of taking care of yourselves, as we do before every game, I just want to remind you that you matter. Your presence on this earth makes a difference, whether you believe it or not. Doesn't matter. It's true. There's a lot of reasons you can be struggling. It is okay to struggle. It's okay to not be okay, but you do not have to struggle alone. At any time, you can come into our chat. You can type !help, as Jeremy has just done, and you'll see a couple of URLs there. Find a helpline.com, or you can check out takethis.org's growing list of resources. We encourage you to check out those websites, bookmark them, save them for yourself, save them for a friend, and remember, you matter. With that, I would like to welcome you all to Paradise, Michigan. Now, I'm going to keep this recap relatively short. Shit's been pretty messed up since you got to Paradise, right? Sorry.
Yep.
Honestly, that surprised me the way that came out, because I was thinking it, but I wasn't expecting to be quite so blunt.
Shit's been messed up, guy.
I think it would have been perfect if that was the entire
Honestly,
summary.
that could be it. Honestly, that could be
I
it.
think we just found the slogan for the campaign, honestly.
Shit's been messed up.
Kids on Paradise. Shit's fucked up, guys.
You guys are in the Stapler house. You've been learning some very troubling facts through the house, apparently showing you different periods in time. You've been seeing, well, Jessica has seen her own parents sitting in the dining room of this house while her mother was pregnant with her, apparently selling her to the town or to somebody for $250,000 on the promise that they would be delivered here this particular year. In a similar fashion and in a bizarre series of time travel overlaps, Oak also saw, not only did he see his own birth, he also witnessed himself aiding in the birth of himself. So yeah, there were 3 versions of him present in that room at the same time. Also, a very large sum of money involved. Billy has learned that he is a member of the Stapler family, and that the Stapler family is a family of werewolves. Laz has been experiencing some troubling visions within the house. Well, along with everybody else, quite frankly. So is Coop. But Laz, Coop, and Rosie, so far, they've been spared the troubling revelations. We ended with the house flipping to the apparent 1930s in a state of restoration, where we met a man who we had not seen before, and then once again, the now ubiquitous Reginald Hawthorne Stapler has appeared, and we are going to pick up with this scene. One moment here, as I have a bit to set the scene up. The sounds of hammers pounding, saws cutting, and men talking, shouting to one another instructions, dirty jokes, and coarse language can be heard all throughout the house. The smell of sawdust and sweat is heavy in the air, tinged with the lingering metallic scent of old blood and fear. The air throughout Stapler House seems almost hazy with all the dust floating around, highlighted by the occasional sunbeam that pierces the dirty windows. In one of the upstairs chambers, all of the curtains have been removed, allowing the afternoon sun to flood into the room, filling it with a bright white-yellow light. In front of the dormant fireplace, a pair of sawhorses have been set up, with a few boards laid across them to form a makeshift table. Several hand-drawn sketches of the house are spread across the table. An empty paint can has been repurposed into a makeshift ashtray. A pack of Lucky Strike cigarettes and a Zippo lighter lay on the table next to it. J. Harrison Stapler takes a cigarette from the pack and, with a quick flip of the Zippo, lights it. The younger Stapler bears a striking resemblance to his father, Reginald Hawthorne Stapler, who frowns slightly at the cigarette. Though they look alike, separated by 35 years, the two men could not be more different. Reginald Hawthorne wears a dark suit and carries himself like a man who is not only in charge, but suffers not insubordination. J. Harrison, also wearing a suit, though his vest and jacket are slung over a nearby chair, his sleeves rolled up to his elbows, stands like a man who is more accustomed to working with people than over them. The sooner this house is restored to its former condition, its proper presentation, the better. I wish that we hadn't needed to leave and abandon the house when your mother died in 1915, but... Reginald Hawthorne's shoulders dropped slightly, and for the briefest moment, he looks like a sad 65-year-old man. In the bright, dusty light streaming through the windows, he actually seems to almost age, wrinkles deepening, hair graying more, and age spots appearing where there had been none a moment before. He inhales sharply and the illusion vanishes before he turns back to his son. When we moved to Canada in those intervening years, I left the house in the care of those Page sisters. A mistake we shan't live down for some time. While we were away, they turned our home into a convalescence home for wounded soldiers for more than a decade. They called it Samaritan House. He almost spits the name as if it tastes foul in his mouth. Regardless, we are back now, and with your help, this house will be restored to its former glory. It will become what it has always meant to be, the foundation of the Stapler legacy for generations to come. One day, your children, their children, and their children will call this place home. Reginald Hawthorne suddenly steps closer to his son and places a hand on his shoulder. J. Harrison flinches slightly, as if expecting to be struck by that hand, unaccustomed to even this slight show of affection from his father. But be aware, boy. We will be challenged. You can count on that. But in time, all of Paradise will come to respect the Stapler name, even if they have to be terrified into doing so. No matter what happens, no matter who tries to interfere, this old house, Stapler House, will always be our home. The scene before you that has just played out, you have witnessed. You are all seeing this take place in the room that moments before, Coop, you were in this room watching your own birth. But now it is several years before, in a state of disrepair. You're all basically standing in the hallway. And wait, did I mess up names again? Right off the bat.
It's okay. It's you know
It's all
what?
good.
I started to get that rewind.
No, it's great.
It wouldn't be a Paradise, Michigan episode without that.
I wore the shirt. I wore the
Just
shirt
in case.
explicitly because I knew it was going to continue.
I love it. I
So-
love it so much.
So, is that something that we saw?
Yes.
Or someone saw?
Yeah.
All of you just witnessed this scene.
What
And
does he have against?
go ahead.
So what did he have against being a good Samaritan? See, that is my relative that much of an asshole?
Is there visible blood and shit around? Not actual shit. Is there actual blood and theoretical shit? Is there blood and
Viscera.
There
Yes.
there are
Etc.
dark stains in various places along the floor. In the previous episode, it was referenced that they were having some difficulty getting some of the blood stains out of the hardwood floor. Some of the dust and sawdust that's in the air is because of the sanding that's taking place of the floors.
You know, I'm gonna be honest. I don't think he has anything against being a good Samaritan, maybe, but if I left an apartment to a buddy while I was on vacation and I came back and it looked like there was a murder here, I guess, I wouldn't be thrilled. But that's just me.
There's a
And it
difference
wouldn't help if
between
he said, but I brought my friend back here. He was just bleeding a lot. It wouldn't make me feel a ton better.
There's a difference between leaving a mess and being angry at the sisters for using this place to save lives.
No, I think he's just a rich asshole.
That could well be too.
So I'm gonna throw some shit into the fire here as a player. You guys never told me what happened on the beach, so I don't know anything about the other 4 werewolves that showed up. But you guys have all seen the picture, and you saw that Billy, pocketed it from the shelf. So out of game, it's quite possible that this guy or somebody else in the line is still around. Just throwing that out.
As you are standing in this room, having this conversation, it's worth noting that almost like ghostly apparitions, the elder and younger stapler seem to still be in the room, though they seem to be fading. Rosie, as you're standing there, having said your piece just a moment ago, you hear from over where the makeshift table was set up with the sawhorses. An unseen wind seems to be ruffling the papers, the sketches of the house, and drawings on the paper, and you hear the rustling of the papers. And though this image is fading, you can still hear the slight rummaging, rustling sound of papers coming from over by the fireplace.
Okay. I go, so are we, just to clarify, are we up on the stairs or are
Second
we
floor.
up on the landing? Second
Second
floor.
floor.
Second
now,
floor,
yeah.
outside the room.
Okay.
You're in the hallway, basically. I forgot to open my
Okay.
maps.
And the fireplace is on the floor where we are at,
Yep,
or down below.
it's on the same floor. It's
Okay.
a common thing that the chimney would have a fireplace on both floors tied into the same one. So this room is directly above the dining room.
Great. I want to go check out those papers.
Did I give you guys
Oh.
the second floor map?
I don't
Yeah.
think you did yet.
No, sir.
No?
I mentioned that you had it, but you hadn't shared it yet.
Yeah,
Okay.
You dangled it before us.
I shall get that to you. Okay, so you're heading over to where
Yeah.
the
I'm
fireplace
gonna go
is.
check out those papers.
Okay.
To
Well,
see.
As you're
Rosie's trying to determine where/when we are. Like she's trying to gain her bearings, and she thinks maybe the papers will help.
As you head over to what is now a translucent Whoops, that's the wrong campaign. The translucent version of the drawings in the table, before they fade away completely, you do see on the sketches that they are dated they're dated in July of 1930.
Wow. Okay. Okay.
Think.
Shut up, Jeremy.
Okay, I'm just double checking.
There's a big red X on one of the maps.
What?
Nothing.
Oh.
Jeremy's mocking me.
I'm going to drop into, for now, into our docs and info, the second floor map.
Oh boy.
So you guys can see where you are. You are standing in the hallway, looking at that large chamber that sort of juts out to the left that has the fireplace in it. That's the room that you are at.
Okay. Sounds great.
So as you are looking at these papers fading away, like if you tried to reach out and touch them, Rosie, you wouldn't be able to. They've become incorporeal, but you still hear that sort of
Fluttering.
And I would like you to make a flight check, please.
The papers are chasing me. Shit. Flight check. Here I go. 5.
As the last of the image fades away and the sound persists, there's a sudden explosion out from the fireplace as what appears to be hundreds of bats explode out from the fireplace into the room. As they fly out suddenly in your face, Rosie, you are unable to react fast enough, and you feel talons and wings scraping against your arms and your face. Some of them are tangling slightly in your hair.
I'm gonna get the rabbis.
Your hat is keeping them from getting fully tangled up. But because of that, Rosie, you are now stressed.
No.
As you have taken these. Everybody else, you have enough time to react, to duck around the door, hit the floor as these bats swarm out into the room and into the hallways. And it takes a few moments for the bats as they disperse in all different directions. And even for a few moments, bats are flitting around within the space.
Poop tucks into his own shirt like a turtle on the ground, and he's just saying, rabies, 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 over and over.
This place sucks.
Ow. And Rosie just like turns around and she's got like little cuts like everywhere.
So I guess those weren't like magic or whatever.
Nah,
Those
I
were
don't
real.
think they were either. Yeah, it really freaking hurt and it stings. It stings everywhere. Ow.
But as you hear right next to you, floorboard creaks.
Laz turns around with his fireplace poker, like held at the ready.
There's nobody there. Coop, where you've laid down on the floor, huddled up, you hear a similar creaking of the floorboard so close that you can actually feel the slight shift of the floorboard as if somebody's weight is pressing on it.
Can't see, so he's going to kind of sausage roll away from wherever he felt and heard the sound.
Rosie,
Awesome. Yeah.
or sorry, Jessica, you see down the hall towards the north, walking towards the door at the end of the hall, a woman in a white flowing dress. She's different. She seems different than the one you saw before. The woman
A
in
different woman in a white flowing dress.
well, that was a woman in a nightgown, and that woman resolved herself to be Nancy, Billy's mother. Remember, she came and said, "Stop playing with your food," and took him to have a bath down the hall. As she walks towards the end of the hall, she turns her head to the side and sort of glances over her shoulder at you, Jess. And it looks like Persephone. And she walks through the door.
Guys, I I keep seeing women in like really old clothing. Did we go after this one?
Yeah, what the hell? What's the worst that could happen?
Jessica like looks in disgust at like the bats and like everything that has
There's a
just
few
like
dead ones from Rosie just flailing and like
Probably,
getting
yeah.
a couple.
so she's just
I mean,
you know, that phrase has never like been good for us
that's fair.
because the worst is pretty bad.
Jessica, roll a D100, please.
Oh god.
But what if I don't want it?
But what if I didn't?
No, I don't think I will. I got a 34.
34?
I abstain.
I'm good, thanks.
Im has left the Zoom call.
Double it and give it to the next person.
For reasons, I'm not going to attempt to replicate this sound that you hear, but I will describe it in the exact words that are used.
Oh Lord.
And this sound that you hear is coming from that same bathroom door, slightly ajar, in which the vision of Nancy took 5-year-old Billy for a bath. The 3 words are wet, meaty, slapping.
Huh.
I mean, I can attempt to make the sound if you want me to, but it's gonna sound.
Fine. It would probably get noise gated anyway.
Oh, I have my noise gate off.
Do what you will.
There's definitely some sound coming from that room. I would probably describe it, if this were D&D, as a splorching sound.
Oh, the cube.
Jessica,
Oh, I should be clear, all of you hear this sound, not just Jessica.
God.
so it's coming from the bathroom, right?
The bathroom that you would have to walk past to go to the room that the lady just walked through.
Jessica, I think I'm starting
She
to
looks
agree
at-
with you.
She looks at Laz and she's like, Laz, you should see what that is.
The fuck? Why should I have to look at that?
She's right. You should
Man.
go. We deal. Listen, our delicate female
I'll go open the door.
sensibilities. We don't need to go. You go.
Don't say such things while I'm taking a drink.
Got him.
Really
Last
was
get it.
door.
Yeah.
I should get an adversity token for that.
Billy's gonna go open the door.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna like throw it open and showcase.
Oh,
what's going on there, everybody.
Oh no, this is horror. You have to do the slow pushing the door open and
Yes.
reveal.
Yeah.
I would like you to roll a
So-
D10, please.
The D10. That would be a 3 set.
Okay. As you push the door open, you see, Billy, the light is dark. It's almost like moonlight pouring in rather than the daylight you've seen out in the hallway through this previous vision. You see a bathroom very similar to the one that you woke up in downstairs. Black and white tile on the floor. There is on the opposite wall a clawfoot iron bathtub. And there is a toilet off to one side and some other pieces of furniture in there. But the first thing you notice is, as you open the door, the sides of the bathtub have blood flowing over the edges, dripping down onto the floor. There's splatters of blood and blood sort of pooling and even running slowly towards the door where you're standing. Inside the bathtub, you see a woman who is completely she's completely nude but covered in blood.
It's like The Shining.
Her belly is swollen and her belly is convulsing, and leaning over her is an even younger looking Reginald Hawthorne Stapler.
Oh.
He looks to be about the same age as Jay Harrison, who you just saw. And this woman has her teeth clenched and appears to be giving birth, and the sounds that you are hearing is actually the sounds of the blood sloshing in the bathtub.
And there's that much blood that it's overflowing the tub and splashing down. Like,
it looks more like the tub was initially filled with
and
water,
blood mixed together.
and now its blood has
Okay.
mixed with it.
all right, that's a little bit better because I'm like, she'd be dead and drained.
Well, that's assuming it's all her blood.
All right, well,
You're doing
I
a
didn't see
blood
anyone else in
birth?
the room that's. Well, I mean, it's the crazy, messed up werewolf family. Remember?
Okay.
I mean, it was apparently okay to have the toddler
Okay.
eating intestines. So
That was totally run of the mill.
I was wrong on that.
Has anybody else come up behind Billy and witnessing
gonna
the
say-
scene?
I would be staying back, actually. Can I stay back with Laz for a second? I would be kind of mentioning something to him that Rosie is concerned about.
Sure. Yeah.
As Billy
Laz
goes up
would
and
wanna check it
checks and kind of gets out of earshot, Rosie would turn to Laz and just be like, so, like, Billy's like a stapler, right? He's got like money. He's like one of them, right?
Maybe, yeah, but I don't know. Like,
So those other wolfmen that were on the beach. You think that's like the rest of them? Four
no,
of
but
them?
like
Yeah.
maybe like some of them could still be alive. Maybe like Billy was saying, maybe even that old guy might still be around. Like,
Well, if they're wolfmen, don't they like live forever? I mean,
I don't know, like vampires. I don't know if they're different or if they're kind of
don't
like
know
the
the
same
rules.
thing. Or
I don't know the rules. I'm saying the rest of us, need to kind of watch each other's backs. Laz, I don't trust Billy.
well, look, like after what he did, I can't say that I really blame you. Like,
I want to.
so-
I mean, he hasn't, when he's in Billy form, he hasn't done anything wrong, but I mean, when you look him in the jaws when he's the other way.
Yeah. Well, look, like you said, maybe we just keep an eye on him. Like, he seems all right, like right now at least.
Okay.
If he goes wacko again, then I don't know. Like, we'll
Okay.
figure it out.
Okay.
As you're having this conversation, we cut back to Billy. Billy, you hear a splintering sound. And looking down, you see that where your hand was gripping the doorknob, you have partially crushed the doorknob and splintered the wood around it.
Oh shit.
As this woman is giving birth and the moonlight is streaming into this bathroom, you feel that anger welling up inside you. You feel your muscles beginning to tense.
I close the door and look away.
Well,
No.
you're gonna need to make a grit check.
Oh no, Billy.
Now this is Billy. This is another case where you have to decide: are you going to fight this sensation, or are you going to give into it? If you choose to give into it, you will not need to roll. You will just transform. If you fight, you will make a roll.
Well, I'm rolling.
Okay?
And obviously, this is a stress situation, so I can't take the half, correct?
You cannot take the half.
Alright.
What's your grit die?
The grit is one of those that's been bumped up, so it's a D20.
Okay. That's what I thought.
All right. I would like to use 2 pops and turn that into an even 10.
It will save you the 2 pops because the DC was
Okay.
20. The DC was 25. You needed to explode because this is a werewolf transformation. This is your
Pretty
second
much, but-
werewolf transformation.
Did this motherfucker choose to just go wolf?
No, he had tried
Okay.
to fight it.
Okay.
He tried to fight
Sorry,
it and
I
failed. And
was
what you
AFK.
see happening before you, Billy, is the woman gives birth. I won't go into all of the gory details, but I will say that what the rest of you are hearing is the sound of what sounds like a woman in pain but trying to suppress her screams. And then you hear that wet, meaty slapping sound, the sloshing of the water and the blood. And Billy, you watch as the baby that comes forth looks to be half human, half wolf. It looks like a hairless child with the face and ears of a wolf and pointy claws and a curly tail, and it's already beginning to mewl and whine as it is born. But it's in that moment that you transform into your wolf form, and all of you hear from in that bathroom right near you, you hear not 1, not 2, but 3 wolfly howls coming from within that bathroom. And one of them, for just a moment, sounds vaguely human and Billy-like until it turns pure feral.
Oh god. Oh god.
Is everyone else up here?
Yeah, you guys are all basically in that
Together.
hallway.
We're Scooby doing it.
What?
Billy's just blocking
Um,
the door with his giant wolf form. That's all. It's fine.
Yeah. He's
Yeah.
Scooby.
He's over by the bathroom, though, right? We're not.
Billy's in the bathroom now and seems to be howling in a packed celebration of the birth of another wolf,
Puppy.
a wolf puppy.
As soon as Jessica hears that, she's gonna try and grab everyone.
Let's go.
And she's at least she's gonna prioritize Oak and Coop, and she's gonna like pull them to that door that we were heading to in the first place before we passed the bathroom, and she wants to try and like phase through the door as quickly as possible.
Just phase through the door, not even try to open it.
Because
Well, no.
Jessica's cool
No.
like that.
No.
Jessica's
trust-
panicked.
Okay, so
I don't trust doorknobs anymore.
So
So
I will
there's
say-
No.
as you grab Coop and Oak, and Laz and Rosie, you see Jessica do this, and Anne, who is also there, because I got to remember that.
Forgot about Anne.
Anne quickly, I even had a note that says literally, "Don't forget about Anne." that
Annie, are you okay?
that you do realize, Coop and Oak, that Jessica has grabbed you and is pulling you very quickly right past the very door through which you are hearing all of this noise. And then,
Kids.
now, Jessica, this is the first time you are attempting to phase other people with you. Isn't it?
On purpose.
On purpose.
No, she phased Billy into the sand.
Oh, that is right. You did phase Billy, and I did make you make a grit check to do it.
Yes,
You are going to
did.
make a grit check because you are attempting to phase 2 children along with yourself.
And have them live.
Well,
Will
Yeah,
she succeed?
ideally.
Will
So-
Jessica succeed, or
At
will
least
the
the
children
top
be
half.
slammed against the wall?
That's an optional objective.
Bonus points. No,
I mean, a partial success is not what we want here.
Because that means a
No.
partial
Surprise what
coup.
you can live through.
Exactly.
Or Oak. Or both.
Okay.
Mix up the bottom halves.
Oh.
Oh my
Pull it.
god.
Pull it
Okay.
in, Jake.
I'm gonna use some pops.
I'm so proud of you.
Ooh.
Do
Because
it.
I rolled
Yes.
3,
Yes.
and I don't want them to be
Chopped.
chopped. So I'm gonna use.
How many are you going to use?
You've got 44.
You have so
That's so many.
Use them.
Yeah.
I'm going to
I'm
use
gonna-
40 domain pops.
Yeah, I want to make sure.
Fine, I will. I choose 44 of them.
No. 43. We'll leave some
Cash
for,
me
you
out.
know.
You have 3. So you have 3.
Yeah, I rolled a 3. Yep.
So you're going to use how many domain pops?
Oh, I'm so scared after that other. Yeah, I think so. I think I want it to make it a 10.
Everybody's saying 7.
Yeah.
Is that your final answer?
Oh, yes.
Are you sure?
Oh, no.
No, he's fucking with you now, dude. Just do it.
Yeah, 7.
Okay, give me a second to do this. I've got 2 different
While Jake
places.
is taking a second to see which half of Oak makes it into the room, check us out on teespring.com. At teespring.com, we have all kinds of great t-shirts like the one Jeremy and I are wearing, and so many more. We have it on tank tops, t-shirts, hoodies, long sleeved and short sleeved t-shirts, coffee mugs, and all kinds of other cool stuff. Teespring.com. Just search Make the Rain Domain.
Oak and Coop, I need each of you to roll a D100. And I'm going to roll one number. Wait, Jessica, roll me a D100.
Are we not rolling then?
No, you are rolling.
Okay.
Jessica, roll me a D100 and message the number to me.
Oh. Oops.
Ooh.
Roll it again.
I'm gonna re-roll again.
Yeah. Reroll.
Yeah, secret number. That's what I was thinking
Oh,
too, Jeremy.
I can't. My keyboard's
You don't
broken.
have keyboard!
Oh, okay.
Everybody,
Wait,
everybody
wait.
plug your ears.
I'll message you.
Okay. In the meantime, Coop and Oak, go ahead and roll. Where are you messaging me?
Discord.
Yeah,
You
on
want
Discord.
our
Okay.
numbers in secret also, or
No,
just
I want yours could be out there. Basically, this is the same as when I roll a baseline, but M is setting the baseline.
95?
M is the one that failed to completely pull you through the door. Or rather, Jessica.
No.
95.
Okay, so what did you get? Okay, so 78 and 95.
Chad's refusing to roll.
Chad has already
Chad's-
rolled.
Chad's
His
in the-
answer is
in the
I
chat.
rolled. I just typed it in. I just typed it in the chat. I'm just like, no.
Chad's in the chat.
Yep.
Chad's in the chat.
So that's
It's been an honor.
I gotta do the math right here. So that's 7. And what'd you get?
Your Honor,
95?
Your Honor.
Tamiko, fusion dance. We
95
we
is...
form a single kid as we come out.
Coke.
Mark
Coke
Coop.
lives.
Okay,
Coke,
So-
Coke lives on.
the baseline that M established was 69. Nice.
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 Meaning that as you phase through the door, Oak is pulled through completely. And you're pulling Coop as well. Now there was a 50% chance, which means 25 on either side. 95 is 26 away from 69. So, as you are pulling them through into this new room, you suddenly feel a lurch as though something is holding you back. And I'm going to use a die that I haven't used in a very long time, but feels very appropriate. I have a 12-sided die that has different body parts listed on it.
I'm ready for this.
Oh, I just rolled full body, Coop.
That's not possible. That can't happen. You have to supersede this.
This says
I just
full body.
rolled full body.
So, what this means is, as you are pulling, Coop, you feel yourself start to phase through this door, and then you stop. Those of you in the hallway, you see one of Coop's feet, the back of his legs, his butt, part of his back, the back of his head, one of his elbows. Coop's arm, face, front, knees, part of his other foot are all on the other side of the door. Coop, you are alive.
He's not chopped.
And you're not chopped in half.
Okay.
But you are currently embedded in this door. You are
He's
unable
gonna
to
start-
move.
He's gonna kick his little feet and go, Jessica? I'm stuck in the door like Pooh Bear.
Jessica,
Legs are kicking on the other side.
Jessica,
Yeah.
Jessica, try again to pull Coop through.
As you look, you see where Coop's sort of basically, I think somebody said it in the chat, basically is looking like Han Solo frozen in carbonite. You actually can see where along the edges of where Coop is embedded, you see the wood grain and the pores of Coop's skin almost look like they're melding together. You know that you have one chance.
Oh.
God damn it. Okay. Yep. Another grit.
This is going to be a grit check. I have the DC.
Lose yourself in the music. The moment.
Oh no.
You own it.
It's okay. If Coop dies,
Jessica, you
we'll
are
get to meet his
definitely stressed. Also, Coop, you are absolutely stressed
Oh.
at this point.
I have a thing though.
Oh, you have a stressed thing?
I'm cool under pressure.
Which means...
Oh.
Um.
That you can still just use half, even though it's a high stress situation.
Yeah.
I also have that. That's the only reason I know.
What is your grit die?
It's a D4. So.
Oh.
So. All right.
Coop, in this instance, because you are still holding on to Jessica's hand, I am going to allow you to also roll your grit.
Oh, really?
What is your grit die?
D6. Very generous.
Oh.
Very generous.
So the two of you combined are attempting to beat this DC.
Okay.
Panic twin powers activate.
Oh no.
3.
Okay. I rolled a 2.
And Coop rolled.
A 3.
So you currently
Um,
have a total of 5.
Yeah. So a 10 didn't get it. So.
It got me halfway
Ten-
through.
10 pops.
We only need another half.
Ted's saying spend 10 pops.
I don't
Jeremy's
know.
giving
I'm
thumbs
not
up.
sure I like Coop well enough to spend $50 on him.
Spend 6, because that brings you to a total of 11. I bet 11 will do it.
Let's do 7 and bring it up to 12, because 12 feels
okay.
lucky. Because
12 feels better.
12
11's
feels good.
11's an icky number.
So
anyway.
12 will get us to 35,
Hi, cat.
25, 23. Is that right?
Yes.
So
Hi, cat.
so 20. I just did the math. I just did the math. Hold on. Let me finish this math before I adjust for new math.
There's so much math happening. I've never been happier.
Oh, that was M.
Yeah.
I live for the chaos.
M's like, I gotta cover this.
M beat me to it.
So proud of you both.
Okay.
I felt a little bad for using so many today.
No, no. That's what they're for. Can't let them shit in your hand, as we say here in Michigan.
All right.
I have so here's what I've just done. I'm going to present an option here.
Oh God.
This
Oh,
is
God.
Coop's decision. Your two choices, Coop, are to realize that you are about to become one with this door and succumb to it, or let Jessica pull you free and lose a piece of your body. I'm giving you this
I'm
choice
ready
because
for-
there's a player agency question here. You will, if you break free, I've already rolled the body die. If you break free, you will lose a part of your body. I will say also that head is one of the options on this die.
Jesus Christ.
I'm not saying which body part I rolled. So this is your choice.
I mean.
Oh, you have the same die. Jeremy has the same exact die.
Shut up, Jeremy. No.
I have it too. It's in the collection.
I had no doubt that Ted had it.
I'm ready. I hope at least one of you knows how to tourniquet something. So we're gonna
the
try to
werewolf
break
does.
free. We're gonna
Okay.
break free.
Got
Jessica.
a Boy Scout. Oh yeah, the wolf. Jeez.
Jessica, I'm going to give you and Coop narrative control on how you pull Coop free. And then I will explain what's left behind.
Oh.
So, also for context, Jessica's fear is dogs. So she freaked out. Just so everyone knows, just so that you understand my thought process, because I feel bad. But as she freaked out and she pulled Oak, and she felt the pull, the resistance of Coop, sees that he's still in, thinks, I can fix this. I can
Handle.
Help. I mean,
as
help you.
she tries to pull again, like with both hands, as she's trying to she's panicking, but at the same time she's trying to breathe in the way that she had done in the past to be able to phase through things. So she pulls at Coop.
Jesse, something stuck. Jesse, something stuck.
And with that,
So sad.
Coop is suddenly yanked forward. The two of you collapse on the ground. There is an arc of blood through the air as you collapse to the ground. And those of you in the hallway, this has all happened in seconds. You see Jessica pull Coop and Oak. You see Coop partially stuck in the door. And then you see Coop sort of phasing through the door. And then you watch as Coop's right hand just falls to the floor outside the door. Coop?
His right hand?
right-handed. He's
Co-
bad.
I mean, the dice, it was a dice roll, but it's me, so obviously it's hand stuff.
Hashtag hand stuff. Hashtag MTD.
Hashtag hand stuff. At the wrist, so actually just slightly above, so almost like thing.
Don't try to make this better.
I'm not making it better. I'm just saying this is how much you've lost. Right here, Coop it's a clean sever, except it's not a lightsaber cut, so it's not cauterized. Coop is aggressively bleeding everywhere. Coop, you are now injured.
Coop looks at Jessica as soon as she pulls him through, and she looks back at him probably, and they're looking at each other, and Coop holds up his stump.
Coop, I need a grit check from you.
Jessica's been through
Something's
a lot.
wrong.
Oh.
And Coop's going to, his eyes are gonna roll back, and he's gonna hit the deck.
Never mind. I'm not gonna make you. That's what you just went ahead and did it. That's what the grip check was for.
Yeah, no.
Oh, that's fair.
Not a chance. Not a
Out
chance.
in the hallway, Laz is pointing at it. Is that?
Yeah. That's exactly what it is. Oh shit.
Laz is gonna run forward and like pick it up.
Rosie runs forward too and like gets between Laz and that door where the fucking wolf people are, and like is like watching his six.
Laz, as you run up to grab the hand, it flips over and tries to scurry away from you.
Hey!
It's me!
Laz like jumps.
It is literally going to try.
House.
It's literally going to try scooching through you, Anne, and Rosie's feet. Suddenly, it's very much thing camera down low. This is not
It isn't things.
clean sewn up thing though. It's leaving a trail of blood behind it. Is anybody going to attempt to grab it?
No.
I don't.
Laz
think
is
I
like
would.
high stepping, like trying to get away from it.
Let me check. That's a D10.
I don't think Rosie appreciates the gravity on the other side of the door, so she would not.
Whoops, that interfered. Anne's gonna miss.
I don't think Coop's gonna want it back, honestly.
You see this hand sort of scooting past. At one point, it sort of partially runs up on a floorboard and pushes off to dodge past Anne, who tries to grab at it, and then it skitters around, and you just hear as it takes off down the stairs.
It's out. It's out in the wilderness now.
I'm
it's
sure
in
like
the
a
house
bird's
anyway.
gonna fucking eat it or something.
Oh my god.
What are the three of you gonna do?
Rosie's like looking at the door and looking back at the door where the wolf people still howling.
I mean, those two doors are right next to each other. If you look
Okay,
at your map. So if you're anywhere near that door, you can look in the bathroom and you can see this sight that is Billy howling in front of an empty bathtub.
We need to like check on Coop and see if he's okay.
And Rosie would like point at Wolf Billy. It was right fucking there. And then I imagine I would try to duck into the room. Into the room where handless Coop is.
You grab the doorknob and it opens. The door is opens up. Billy, I need you to roll me a brawn check. And this is going to be a contested die roll. Because as Laz and Rosie are heading for that room, Anne passes by, looks in, and sees you in your wolf form. And without hesitation, Anne steps into the room and immediately tries to, well, punch you across the face. Like she's trying to snap you out of it.
Wow.
So I need you to roll a brawn check, and I am going to roll a fight check.
Don't be a hero, Anne.
So what'd you get for your brawn? Anne exploded on a d20 and got a 38.
Sure.
Oh my god. She kills him.
He went into the next universe, not even the next room, the next universe, and knocked him.
So this is going to be
God.
interesting. Let me just see. The attacker's roll is greater by 10 or more. Billy, I want you to roll me a d10.
Sure. That is a 3, sir.
Billy, I'd like you to re-roll me a d10 because you are currently at 3.
4.
Billy, Ann hits you so hard that she knocks you and her 15 years into the future.
What the fuck? What?
When Anne strikes you, you slam back against the built-in cupboards in this bathroom. There's a chest of drawers there that had some various like perfumes and things that rattle, and a couple crash to the floor. Your jaw hurts because she hit you so hard. A 38 versus a 35. You are injured. But the bathroom you are in, the blood is gone. The pregnant woman and Reginald Hawthorne are gone. But instead what you see is where the two of you are standing there, you hear this sound that says, or the sound that's a voice. It is the voice of Reginald Hawthorne. And he says, Jay Harrison, I told you to pack the bathroom, not destroy it. From in the room right next to you, you hear, it wasn't me, Dad. I don't know, just a bunch of the bottles fell over. And you see where Anne is standing. She seems to shimmer a little bit, and she gets this like look on her face as she steps back, and you realize Anne was superimposed over the form of 15-year-old Jay Harrison Stapler, who is standing in the room at the very place where you're standing, looking confused with a cardboard box labeled bathroom. And you see, even looking into the hallway, you can see some boxes stacked up. This looks to be 1915 and the referenced from the opening narration where they're moving out.
Wow.
So,
Wow.
am I myself?
Yes, you are in your normal form, your human form. Jessica or Anne hit you hard enough to knock you out of your form and 15 years in the future.
Jesus Christ. That's a haymaker right there.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't know that I'm in the future. I would just know that I'm seeing a different vision.
Yeah. The dates in the future is more so that I can help you guys to keep track of where you're shifting around.
Sure.
Think of it as whenever there's a new date scene, the numbers across the bottom just say Stapler House 1915 or something like that.
Yes, yes.
And
what the hell happened?
You were a wolf. You were wolfing out. And we don't need you to be that way right now. So I punched you in the face. And it looked like it worked, but I don't know where we are.
Oh, we're still in the house.
Or when we are? Around you, as if you're not there, Jay Harrison, the teenager, who looks to be your age, And there are some similarities
Oh.
in 15-year-old Jay Harrison. Not exactly, but you definitely can see the resemblance. He is picking up some of the stuff that got knocked off, and he's just going around packing stuff up as if you aren't there.
So what do you mean when?
It seems like since we came into this place, the house keeps... I don't know. It's like it's moving us through its timeline.
I thought we were just seeing visions.
Well, maybe that's it too, but visions don't knock bottles over and break them. What were you seeing? You went into that bathroom and you wolfed out.
There was a woman standing in the bathtub with that jackass again, like kind of coaching her through it. And the baby was born. He was born like a wolf person. And as he emerged, moonlight came through the window, and next thing you know, my jaw hurts and I'm here.
Oh, damn. So you can't control it when you wolf out?
I have tried very hard, but it's primal, it's powerful, and there have been times where it's taken control and I don't have any recollection. There have been times where it's like I'm in the car and somebody else is driving. I can see where I'm going, but got no ability to steer. It's
She steps towards you
terrifying.
and she puts her hands out, kind of almost like to steady you, but puts her hand sort of on your upper arm. Billy, you need to, and I cannot emphasize this enough, get your shit together. You need to learn how to control this, because I'm afraid if you don't, you're going to end up hurting one or more of us.
Trust me, that's the last thing I want. I'd rather run off and whatnot than do anything to hurt anyone.
But if you can't control it, would you be able to run off?
Well, I'm saying, like, leave when I'm me, rather than stay. Like,
well, if it's going to keep working and you wolf out around me, I guess I'll just have to keep punching you. And then she kind of turns she reaches up and takes your jaw, which is very tender, but she takes it very lightly, and she just kind of turns your head a little bit. I didn't break it, did I?
doesn't feel broken, but it's really tender.
And in classic 80s movie fashion, she says, "I'm sorry." And she kisses the corner of your mouth.
Oh, yes. This is great.
And we're going to cut over to the other group upstairs as Laz and Rosie, you've rushed into the room to find Jessica sitting on the floor, Coop passed out next to her, right hand gone, blood pooling, and Oak standing there, not really. I don't know what you're doing, Oak, with all this chaos around you.
Here's the thing. Everything happened so fast. There's not been a lot of stuff. I think when Jesse was trying to pull Coop through the wall, Oak would have offered to help, but then at that point he realizes, oh, I don't have the phasing. I don't do that, so I can't help. I can't help here. I'll wait till it's done and then figure it out. So now that Coop is on the floor, hand bleeding, Oak screams like a kid would when you watch a absolutely volatile wound happen to your best friend, and you're like, ah! And then he will immediately proceed to try to help. What's in this room that I can see that I think might help?
So the room you are in is longer than it is deep, and you actually can see that this room where Coop you guys got me second guessing before I see each of your names. Where Coop has passed out is actually at the top of a set of narrow stairs that lead down. But the north and the west walls of this room are all windows. There's a fireplace on the south wall, the same wall as this door. Around the edges of this room are wicker furniture. Really high end, but and very old wicker furniture with sort of floral printed cushions. There's a couple plants in the corner. This room is known as the solar room. It is a sort of a day room where the light, people come to enjoy the light coming in. It's what might be called a Four Seasons room or a Four Seasons porch. There are two things that stand out to you as you look around this room, Oak. The first is as you look outside the windows, you will remember that when you came into Stapler House, it was the full moon nearing the horizon setting as midnight approaches. But you have been flip-flopping around time, and most recently it was the middle of daylight in 1930-something. But what you see looking outside these windows is a sky that looks to be on fire with a perpetual sunrise sunset. You are watching the sun arc across the sky as a sunrise happens, and then a sunset, and then a sunrise and a sunset. You see the moon waxing and waning through its phases, clouds moving through in rapid movements, but then seeming to also roll backwards as the direction of the sunset and sunrise shift back and forth at an almost incomprehensible speed, as if you are witnessing, within the blink of an eye, you are witnessing weeks, months, years pass by. That is the first of the unusual things. The second is that seated in one of these chairs is Persephone and Ashley Raven. And Ashley Raven, without looking at you, just says, "This has always been my favorite room of the house. I'm glad you could join me." And that's where we're going to take our break.
Ooh. Just totally
Wow.
nonplussed by the time passaging, I assume.
Oh, absolutely. She's staring out the window, watching this happen, like she's there for that express purpose.
Oh my god.
For context, she specifically was talking to me, or was she talking to Persephone?
Or the
Good
group.
question.
I want
guess
to make sure that I want to make
that
I
I will say
guess.
that's not clear.
Okay, that's not clear because my image is me staring out of a window, watching all of time pass, and then
A little distracted
hearing a
at the
voice.
moment.
Hearing a voice off to the left of me, and I turn, and it's Ashley Raven, and then right next to her in another chair is Persephone, and now my whole brain is just I have a friend who's bleeding on the floor. I need to fix that.
Yep.
You might die.
But I'm now bleeding from my nose because my brain has exploded. So help me out.
All right.
Figure this out.
Yep. We're going to go ahead and take about a 10-minute break, and we will come back for the second half of this penultimate episode. We will see you on the other side.
And stuff.
I don't know. It just happens. All right.
And stuff. Oh no! Ah!
Jesus Christ, Tamiko, you're incredible. You are incredible.
So, what did you do?
She made a
It's
stuff.
amazing. It's amazing.
Commit to the bit, baby.
Commit to the bit.
So picking up
Commit
where
to
we
the bit.
left off, Coop is passed out on the floor in a growing pool of blood. Jessica is standing, sort of sitting on the floor right there, having just fallen down after pulling them through. Rosie and Laz have just come bursting in through the door and slammed it shut behind them. Probably realizing that Anne is not with you. And Coop, or rather Oak, is over on the far side of the room, or more towards the window side. Looking out the window as both Persephone and Ashley Raven are sitting in wicker patio furniture. I open the scene to all of you. Whoever wants to take the lead, what's happening?
I will gladly take the lead because this is like what I was thinking about doing and saying beforehand. Who is in the room with me? Rosie?
All of us.
All of us, pretty much, right?
Yep.
Except for Billy and Anne. Everybody else is here. Okay. It's that like slow look. He's staring ahead, but then like he slowly looks over at like Ashley Raven and Persephone. And it's that moment where he wants to talk to them for just a second. I'm sorry, but are y'all real? Like, kind of like reaches out to touch. Would Ashley Raven be the closest to me, or would Persephone be the closest to me?
Sort of a little bit of each, but as you start to reach out, Persephone immediately stands up. She is wearing, she has the blonde hair and the paler skin, and she's wearing the white dress. Whereas Ashley Raven has the darker hair and is wearing the dark sort of business pantsuit. Ashley Raven makes no motion, but Persephone immediately stands up and reaches out towards you. And Chad, I would like you to roll me. I think it's a D100, but I have to check. Yes, it's a D100. This is a very different
D100.
table.
Okay.
Tamiko, you made that thing during the break. You're astounding. You're astounding.
Ooh, I don't know if that's good or bad, because that's not really good nor bad. It's a 51. I'm
Almost
not-
exactly in the middle.
I'm a little sussed about that. That seems no thanks.
Persephone steps forward and sort of takes a knee. Like, she gets down on both knees, so she's more or less looking you in the eye. She puts a hand on your shoulder and says, "Oh dear, what is it? What is it? What has troubled you so?"
Persephone. Okay. Who? Well, if you're real, Coop. It's Coop. Coop's
Coop?
bleeding out, and I need to.
Oak.
I want to save him.
Oak. Coop is fine. And
No,
as she says
no,
that,
He's not.
as she says that, in your mind, as if it were a bad dream, the vision of Coop being pulled through the door, embedded, and having his hand ripped off seems to dissolve away. And in your mind, Jessica pulled you and Oak through the open door and closed it behind you.
God.
You have no memory right now of what actually happened.
I have a question.
Yes.
So, is it too far-fetched? Feel free to turn this down. Rosie's dad works for the DNR. He's essentially a police officer. Would it be too far-fetched to say Rosie knows like a little bit of first aid?
I mean, no.
Just to be holding something on to the end.
Ironically,
of
the one
stump.
the one who is most likely to know the most first aid
Fucking
and has a
Billy,
badge
and
for it is in a different time zone.
Rosie was a brownie for like a week and a half before she didn't fit in.
I'll put it this way: anybody can attempt first aid.
Yeah, I would love to attempt first aid for Coop. I'm
That
totally
is going-
ignoring these two ladies.
That is going to be a brains check.
There's some Neosporin in my backpack.
Oh, great. I wouldn't know that.
Actually, you would. Everybody has seen the contents of Coop's backpack.
Oh yeah, because you dumped it more than once.
But
I would say, Laz, dig into Coop's backpack. I think he's got some Neosporin.
Yeah, okay.
Jessica's just like kneeling there, like eyes wide, like hands just, I'm sure, are like covered in, like, probably covered in blood.
Okay, real quick, I'm so sorry to interrupt you, Em. I exploded twice on my brains check for a total of 20.
okay. So, I will say that you're free to narrate how you essentially are able to stop the bleeding. This is obviously something that's going to require serious medical intervention. But you've done enough to be able to essentially stop the bleeding, and Coop's not going to bleed out and die anytime soon.
Okay. So I think Rosie probably has like an extra t-shirt or a tank top or something in her backpack. And she would like pull that out and just like kind of like put it on the end of Coop's stump. And then with the like extra dangly offy pieces, she would like just be tying it around.
When you say
just...
extra dangly off pieces, you're talking about the material,
the
right?
Shirt, you
the
dick.
shirt,
The
not
shirt.
The shirt's not skins, guy. Okay, come on.
Shirts, not skins. Yes, thank you. The dangly offy pieces of cottony stuff, and then would like just pull it like really tight, and then kind of wrap it again and pull it tight again and wrap it again and pull it tight again as many times as she can while there's still.
As you're doing that, Persephone kind of squeezes your arm, Oak, and says, "Everything is okay. You're gonna be fine. Take a seat." And she just kind of gently guides you to one of the chairs. She doesn't even wait for a response from you, and she immediately stands up and walks over to you, Jessica. "Are you okay?" And she holds out her hand to help you up.
Jessica is like not even looking, or really doesn't even respond to. She's just looking at her hands.
As you're looking at your hands, Persephone kneels down next to you and gently reaches out and cups your hands in hers. "Jessica, look at me, honey. It's okay. Look at me." As she's saying this and she's holding your hands, you also have this sensation of everything that's happened seems to drift away like a nightmare fading when you wake. And looking at the door, you're not sure what happened or why you're on the floor. You just remember running through the door, throwing it open and pulling Coop and Oak behind you and slamming the door behind you. And when you look at your hands, they're clean. You don't see any blood on them. Point of reference, everybody else, Jessica's hands are covered in blood.
Do
Yeah, you see-
she... Oh, sorry, go ahead. You first.
So Jessica like blinks a couple times as she gets out of this like shock that she was in, and just looks around and, where are we?
This is the solar room. Might be more comfortable in one of the chairs. Rosie, Laz, come have a seat.
No, I have a question. Do I see that Jessica and Oak are behaving strangely, like that they kind of like slumped, that they are not as fucking tense as they should be in this situation?
Roll me a grit check. It's your ability
Okay.
to read situations and people.
5.
You're not really picking up on that. You've been kind of caught in the stress of what's happening.
Okay.
In the same fashion, Persephone is going to step towards both of you, and she kind of puts up one hand on each of your shoulders. You're in a safe place now. Just come have a seat.
Bullshit.
Coop is.
What?
Coop is.
Why
Coop-
is she here? He
Coop
points
is
to
fine.
Raven.
Coop is fine,
Laz is right. Why is she here?
and we are here to talk to you. And as she says this, Rosie and Laz, Rosie in particular, the blood that you see on your hands from tending the coop to your eyes is gone. And both of you, your memory of the situation of even seeing the hand is... well, actually, no. The seeing of the hand crawling away would still be in your mind. But the memory of you being... of what happened with the door and everything is also replaced. And Rosie, you don't even remember bandaging up Coop's hand. You have no memory of doing that just a moment before. As far as you know, Coop just tripped and fell, as he does when you walked into this room. And you also both have a memory. It's like, oh yeah, I totally forgot. Persephone said that Ashley Raven wanted to meet with us when we came into the house.
Oh, fuck. Oh, God. Oh, well.
Coop, you are currently unconscious. However, Coop, you can hear everything that's happening. So you're sort of like unconscious, but almost like a coma, like you're hearing things happening around you.
Mm-hmm.
I would like every single one of you to roll a grit check.
That's dark, Jake. This is
My-
like some sleep
myself
paralysis
included, or just
shit.
them?
Yeah, you're not gonna make that right now. We're gonna come back to you in a moment, Billy.
I got a
A
10.
5.
You said
I got an
D100,
11.
right?
No, I said grit.
Grit. Okay.
Oh, for my oh my god, I am very happy with myself. I got a 16. I
Hey.
hit 2 it exploded twice.
Got a 15, a 10, a 5,
3.
3.
It's a
got an
different die,
11.
too.
That's got
I
an
don't know why I
11.
keep rolling 3s.
All of you have this sort of vague sensation of confusion. The last probably 5 to 10 minutes are a haze. You just know that you're in a safe place and you're here to talk to Ashley Raven. She invited you here.
And we feel comfortable with that.
Yep.
We feel like, oh,
This is
okay.
this is for whatever reason you have a memory of having agreed as a group that you would meet with her, except for Oak. As Persephone turns her attention to the others, perhaps she turned her attention a bit too quickly, because the false memory that she implanted in you doesn't take. And you realize that Persephone, you know that Persephone just tried to alter your memories. And you watch as in moments she moves methodically around the room, and you see all of your friends acting as if nothing happened and sort of in a dreamlike state, moving to sit down in the chairs around you. And you, Oak, know that Persephone has been altering their memories as you watched.
Oh God, trust no one. Trust no one.
Okay. Ooh, what does Oak do in this moment? I think there's a small glance toward Coop to make sure that Coop is okay, because he would not have known that Rosie had staunched the bleeding or anything like that. So he would glance over and check on the body over there, make sure that Coop is technically okay, and then he would proceed to try and are there a bunch of chairs in this area, like for all of us to sit down in? Or
yeah, there's so the two singular chairs that are in this space. Think of it like a Four Seasons porch with patio furniture in it.
Perfect.
There's the two single occupant chairs are occupied by Persephone and Raven. The others are like a long couch and a love seat style.
Love seats. Okay, perfect. Yeah. So I think for a moment,
in fact, in one corner, there's, because of the time frame, there's also one of those wicker chairs that's hanging from the ceiling.
Hanging. Yes, and it's got pillows in it.
Yep.
Like a little pod.
Yeah.
I think Oak will sit, take a seat, but you can see his eyes are clocking everything, and I want to be close to at least one of my friends. I don't want to be sitting next to Ashley Raven. I don't want to be sitting next to Persephone. I want to be sitting next to a friend.
I would like you to roll me a grit check real quick, please.
Yep. That'd be a 5.
Okay. Thank you. Okay. As all of you take a seat around in this room, and the display continues to happen outside, the constant shifting of time back and forth outside the window in a brilliant displays of fiery reds and oranges shifting into midnight blues and purples, and occasional glimpses of clear blue skies or clouded skies, even catching the brief glimpses of thunderstorms and things like that. Ashley looks at all of you and says, I am so happy that we can sit down and have a civil conversation. Billy, you and Anne are in the bathroom in 1915. And Jay Harrison has just picked up the box of stuff that he packed up and brought it out into the hallway. What are the two of you doing? Or more pointedly, what are you doing after Anne just kissed you?
I love this is also very 80s movies. Like, we've got like terror in the other room, and then, but by the way, sorry.
Like, he's gonna like stand there shocked a moment, at this. I guess punching me every time I wolf out is one way to go about doing things, but I think you're absolutely correct. I need to find a way to get control. I just wish that there were other werewolves in the picture. Like, if legitimately my mother was a werewolf, she never said anything, never gave any kind of hint. really wouldn't even know where to begin to get control, to get help.
Roll me a d10. Please.
That would be a 1, sir.
Okay. And then I'm going to actually roll a d10 for Ian. Okay. Well, I don't think we're going to find any answers in this bathroom. Where are the others?
I mean, everybody was out in the hallway.
Jessica
before I opened
grabbed
the door.
Jessica grabbed the younger ones and pulled them into this room at the end of the hall, and then the others took off after. That's when I came in here. And I haven't heard anything from the other side of the door. We need to find out where everybody is.
Every time I go crazy, it's a fear fest all over the place. So if you want to, I'll keep a lookout. If you want to go look and see if they just stepped into the other room.
All right. Roll a D100, please.
That is going to be a 10.
So, as a reminder, you guys are on the second floor. And you are in the bathroom at the end of the hall. And immediately outside of this room, across the hall, is a door. To the right is the door that the others went through. And to the left is another door. As you and Anne move towards the door and peer out into the hallway, you see the hallway lined with boxes. They say things like naming different bedrooms, naming things like study, master bedroom, all that kind of stuff. Very just like you would expect to see with people moving.
Are they open boxes, or are they taped shut or folded shut?
With the exception of the one labeled bathroom that Jay Harrison just put out here, they're all taped shut.
Okay.
But immediately to the left, as you step to the entryway of this door, Anne kind of looks left and right, and then both of you hear from that door immediately to your left. No. I think they're there. They're watching. Coming. They're closer. Watching. They're coming.
No.
They're closer. Shh. No. They'll hear us. No, we want them to hear us. Come here. Shh. And that's the last you hear of the whispers coming from the attic door.
Oh my god.
When I
Hate that.
creep closer and try to give a listen.
Yeah, you creep out into the hall and move closer to the door, and as you get closer and you lean your head in, and we see that sort of, as you lean your head in, the frame moves to where we see darkness on the other side of the door. Bam! Something slams hard against the door on the other side. And I imagine startles you enough that you would kind of snap back a little bit, and definitely startles back. What the? I'm just going to say it now. Can we not go after the whispered voices? And whatever that was?
Well, they said they wanted to be heard. Let's go back and see.
I heard that they didn't want to be heard.
All right, we can go back to the others.
The doorknob is shifting slightly back and forth.
Oh man. Oh
The
god.
the one behind us?
The attic door
The one
that you were just listening to.
Well, I'm gonna walk backwards, looking at the door so that if it opens, I'm not surprised. But I'm trying to gauge my steps so that I know where, like how far we've come to go look at the door that we think our friends are in.
As you start backing away, and Anne is definitely backing towards that door at the end of the hall, the doorknob goes. The whole door starts shaking, the doorknob rattling heavily. And Anne, you just hear in your ear, Anne goes, "Fuck this," and turns around and just opens up that door at the end of the hall. And I would like you to, and I'm going to roll as well. We're going to roll D10s again.
There's a 9. I think at this point in time, Jeremy, all doors are green with brass handles. Well,
Actually, the only green door with a brass handle you've seen so far has been the one that when you entered into this house. No other door was green with a brass handle. As the two of you burst into this room, you find yourself in a room that has, well, it's the solar room. It has the windows all along the north wall and the west wall. But there's no patio furniture in here. There is a simple table with a wash basin. There is a single bed with a metal frame. And in the bed is 15-year-old Nancy Stapler. Next to her is her mother, Darla Stapler. And once again, you have managed to walk into a birth scene.
Oh my god.
And you
Congratulations.
are watching your mother give birth.
No.
And as the two of you walk in, you just hear in your ear and go, "What the fuck?"
And as Anne says that, Billy just is like, "Are you fucking kidding me?" And I just turn around and walk out. No, I don't care whether it's me or my older brother. I'm not sticking around for this. Like, no.
As you say that, and you walk towards the door, and right behind you, you open the door, and you walk out, and as you pass through the door, you pass right back into the room. But this time, as you enter the room, it looks completely different. You see immediately on the floor an unconscious Coop. And you see the rest of your friends all sitting calmly on patio furniture with, at the far end of the room, sitting in two separate chairs, are Persephone and Ashley Raven. Ah, I see the two of you have joined us. Please come in and have a seat.
Anne had to knock some sense into me. He's about to say everybody else okay, and that's when I assume don't have to pass a die roll to see the pool of blood on the floor.
Oh no, you absolutely see the blood on the floor. You actually see, while they're sitting calmly, you see that both Rosie and Jessica have blood all over their fronts and their hands and probably splattered across their faces. You see the blood all over the floor. Coop has a hastily bandaged hand that it looks to have stopped bleeding, but appears to be lying unconscious on the floor while everybody sits calmly in these chairs. Your friend's going to be okay, Billy. Rosie.
What the hell happened?
Well, Jessica, I'm afraid, has bitten off more than she can chew.
I'm gonna look back and forth between whoever's speaking and Jessica. What do you mean?
Have a seat, and I will explain everything to you. All of you.
He grabs the seat, but he's sitting on the edge of it. He's not really in the mood to be sitting down.
Anne moves over, and regardless of how much room there is, if there's no room, in fact, I think Anne moves over to where Jessica is and kind of sits on the floor next to her, putting her arm up on Jessica's lap and taking her hand and just looking up at you, Jessica. Is everything okay?
Yeah, everything's weird, but where were you two?
It's this house. It's really messing with our heads.
So did you ask that out loud, or was that to whisper just to Anne?
I imagine it's just a hushed conversation, but also not.
Okay.
You're in close enough proximity, you guys can probably hear. Now that you're all here, we can have a civil, face-to-face conversation. I'm sure you have some questions, and we'll get to those, and I will answer what I can. But for now, welcome to Stapler House. Billy, welcome home.
You can say it any way you want. This ain't home.
You can deny it however much you want. But Billy, you are a stapler, and this is your home. This house is your house. You are the 5th generation of one of the oldest and most powerful families in all of Paradise.
So, you grew up in this house? Because, that explains a lot.
Are you talking to Billy or Ashley?
Raven.
Oh.
Raven.
Oh, no. I'm not a stapler, and I didn't grow up here.
Oh, okay, because it seems like everybody else did.
Only Billy is a stapler.
There's babies being born left and right all over the place. It's kind of hard to tell who's who.
What about all that stuff that we saw earlier then with all those flashbacks and like Laz said, ladies spitting out babies left and right?
Well,
I literally was in this room a second ago, and there was a vision of my mother and Darla.
Shit,
that was
another
my mother
one?
giving birth. I don't know if it was supposed to be me or my older brother, but I was not going to hang around.
Oh, I can assure you it was your mother giving birth to you. Your older brother is not your blood brother.
What?
And your father is not your biological father.
Oh! Well, then who is Billy's biological father?
There are certain questions that we can't answer right now, or you're not ready for.
Ma'am, please forgive me, but we've seen a lot of shit tonight, so I think there's literally nothing you could absolutely say to us that we couldn't handle tonight. Okay?
I haven't seen that much, Oak. What do you mean?
Let me
saw my.
Go ahead.
I saw myself be present for my own birth. Okay? I witnessed that. You can't unsee that. That doesn't go away.
Yes, I am afraid your situation is a bit more convoluted than the others. Oak.
You haven't even thought about the worst part of that.
And that would be?
You know that time is a cycle. If he has to do it, he knows that at some point in time, he's going to be back here to do it again. So you'll know the day of. You'll have that anticipatory knowledge that you are going to have to not only sit and watch, but actually perform. That's
Ted.
well, I gestures at Jessica. Ew.
Yeah.
So, as I said, Oak's situation is incredibly unique. And I will admit to you, to a certain degree, what is going to happen to you, as you have seen. I wouldn't say it's so much predestined as it is certain things have already happened, which means you must know that there are certain things that have yet to happen. It is inevitable, Oak, and I'm going to be frank with you. Sometime within the next year, you will travel back to 1950, and you will not return.
No. Is that something that is set in stone? Like, with that foreknowledge, is that something that we could legitimately prevent? Or would that turn this world from the crazy batshit that it is into some sci-fi nonsense that changes everything?
William Stapler. You definitely carry some of your great-great-grandfather's genes. Reginald Hawthorne thought beyond in much the same way that you do.
Based off of what I've seen here, I will take that as an insult.
You're surprisingly hitting right at the very heart of the matter. And I didn't even have to guide you there.
Look, lady, what do you want from us? Like, you've been fucking with us all summer long. Like, just tell us what it is that you want.
If I place a rat, let's call him Templeton, into a maze, the maze has a beginning and it has an end. There are things that will help and hinder him along his path. But from beginning to end, Templeton makes every turn and every choice of his own free will. Am I influencing his decisions?
You're making him run the maze in the first place. Why? Yeah. Why?
So that he can learn. And so that I can learn from him.
What the hell do we have to learn from you?
You and your playmates over in the orchard just like to fuck with kids?
Children in Paradise have so much more potential than the residents of this town. Let me ask you, since you arrived here, how many other kids have you seen?
Have we seen, like, no other kids, right?
Thinking back on this, you will realize that at no point in the 6 to 8 weeks you've been here, I've lost track. Well, since you've been in the house, it's been practically 100 years, it seems. But at no point, and I, as a GM, am rather surprised nobody asked this question. At no point have you seen another baby, toddler, child, or teenager. You have been the only kids in this town.
Rosie's just quiet at this realization.
Sometimes you have to place the rat in the maze to see how it is going to develop, how it's going to learn, what it's going to do. Sometimes you have to change the experiment a little. Sometimes you have to change the rat.
I don't know what you're all trying to learn or what kind of people that you employ. But when an adult man has you strapped down to a bed saying, "You are our plaything and we will do with you as you please," you can best bet that Dr. Devin Sharp wishes he will never see me again.
I will admit to you...
If he does...
Go ahead.
Because if he does, he won't see the book.
I will admit to you that Dr. Devin Sharp was given a little too much lead and took matters a bit further than he should have. That will not happen again. But Billy, if you think for one moment that you are in a position to be able to threaten someone like Dr. Sharp, I want you to know that you are still a child and your abilities are brand new. You still don't know how to use them.
So I thought, she thinks she's helping us. She thinks she's helping you.
I am helping you.
Bullshit.
Are you jealous?
No.
Because you haven't manifested any abilities yet.
For just a half a second, Rosie looks a little, like, hurt. And she just says, fucking no.
I hear you say no, but I know you, Rosie. Always compensating. Always trying to be something more. Because you carry this burden around you. That you have to make up for some sin for which you are not guilty. You can learn to let go of that. You too may evolve.
Look, we get it, okay? You're really fucking good at being a bully, all right? You're fucking mean. We get it. But, like, so what? We're rats in your maze, and we do what you want and all this kind of shit, and we've, got free will and whatever, but what happens afterwards? Then what? Are you going to leave us alone then?
so much anger in you, lass.
Yeah, you're fucking right there is. I had to traipse through this fucking Disney World bullshit to come up here and try to talk to you. And look, I've seen a crawling hand. I've seen like shit melting my arm off. I don't know what's going on with this weird ass town that you have here, or why you're doing it to us, or whatever, but is there a fucking point?
It's the fact that you say I'll answer your questions, and every single question that we've asked, you direct that question to making some other kind of statement and never actually provide an answer to any of the questions that have been asked.
I will allow each of you to ask one direct question in turn, and I will answer your question until you are satisfied. What is your question, Billy? You must have a question. You seem so eager to get answers.
Oh, there are more questions than I could get. I'm trying to find the right one. And since there is apparently something to do with this house and my family, what is the cryptid protocol?
The cryptid protocol was, under the guise of the Nexus Project, a catalyst in this iteration, was necessary to help you to unlock your potential. You were always a stapler. You came to this town a stapler, sort of a prodigal son returning, if you will. And I had hoped, as soon as you entered the town, that your abilities, your natural talents, would manifest themselves. They did not. When we had the opportunity, we pulled you in, and we gave nature a little shove. Lass.
Why?
One question. I've answered your one question.
Satisfied.
I've answered your one question. Laz, you seem so demanding for answers and fed up with bullshit. What is your question?
So if we're rats in a maze for whatever sick experiment that you've got going on, how do I get out of this? I want out, whatever it takes. Tell me the fucking steps that it's going to take for me to get out of this fucking maze and never have to look at you ever again.
That is something that is difficult to answer. I will try my best to give you an answer. Very soon, you will be out of this maze. Our experiments to this point are not working. We threw you into the maze with very little expectation or understanding. You knew not why you were here. We thought that would leave you untouched, to figure things out in a most pure way. Well, it turns out with no instruction, your still developing adolescent brains have not been able to quite handle the intensity of the decisions that were asked of you. As such, we are changing the experiment. We're putting up more walls and more parameters. But this time, you will know that you are in a maze. The answer to how you
Hoorah.
get out of the maze, Laz, you have to find the exit. Jessica, you've been very quiet. Surely you have a question.
Jessica looks to Anne and yeah, just ask, who is Anne? What is Anne?
When you say who is Anne, Anne kind of squeezes your hand like, yeah, good question. And then when you say what is Anne, Anne kind of looks at you like, what the? Just a little bit of betrayal. Like, wait a minute.
You don't just
We've
ask
come
somebody
so
what they
far.
are.
We've worked so hard.
The couples therapy is not working.
Ashley Raven looks at you and kind of tilts her head. You see her eyes flicking between you and Anne as she says, when I asked Reginald Hawthorne Stapler to begin putting things into motion to ensure that each of you would arrive here in Paradise this particular summer, even I didn't know what we were in for. With you and Anne. Even your mother thought maybe it was twins. But it was only you that was born, and only you that was provided for. Jessica, you are, and I guess by extension Anne, as well. You are the anomaly among anomalies. You are the experiment within the experiment. You are something we did not anticipate, something we did not plan for, but something we are watching very closely. Each of you, as far as I can tell, are clearly independent individuals. And something, since you've arrived in Paradise, has caused you to separate from whatever it was that was keeping you apart. You have now been brought together. We are very curious to see how this unfolds. Both of you have been very interesting to watch this far. I can't wait to see what you do next time. Rosie.
And Rosie just looks like she's reeling from all this information, and she just kind of eventually like shrugs and just says, "Why am I here? You said it yourself. I don't have a thing. I haven't manifested or whatever you said. I don't have anything special about me. Why am I here? Why do you need me? Why can't you? I don't want to be here."
I think Laz actually takes Rosie's hand.
And Rosie would just kind of like almost like reflexively squeeze, like hold on tight kind of.
You have a purpose. No matter what is happening, no matter where you are, always know that you have a purpose. And this goes for each and every one of you. You have a purpose. Don't ever let anybody tell you that you have no purpose or worth. Your purpose has not been revealed yet, Rosie. The situations that you've been presented with have not drawn out your potential yet. The parameters were too vague. The testing field too open. We are re-examining and rewriting the experiment, and then next time, the parameters will help to guide you.
I don't know what that means. I don't know what any of that means. Why am I here? Just tell me fucking why I'm here, please. I don't know what any of that shit means. Just...
For the first time, Ashley stands up. She walks over to you. And she looks for a moment like she wants to reach out and touch you. But she pulls her hand back. She glances over to Persephone. Persephone reaches out and places her hand on your other hand. Nothing beyond the physical touch of Persephone happens. She doesn't alter your memories. She doesn't do anything to try to calm you down other than give you a warm touch. But Ashley looks at you and says, Rosie, look at me. Look at me.
With some effort, Rosie does.
You are here because you were chosen for your intelligence, for your strength, for your spirit and tenacity. In short, you were chosen because of who you are. And suddenly she turns on her heel. She walks over and sits down and looks right over to you, Oak. Orson, Oak, Dr. K, what is your question?
Y'all seem to think that he kind of like stops for a minute and you can tell the wheels are cranking. So y'all seem to think that at some point in time, I'm going to mess up and I'm going to go all the way back and I'm not going to be able to make it back here. And I'm not going to be able to be me with my friends like I intended to do when I signed up to come here for the summer. I don't know if you know this, but like, we haven't had a single day of normal summer the whole summer. So what I'd like to do is be able to have a normal summer with my friends. So here's my simple question to you. When do I get to have a normal ass summer with my friends? When does that happen?
She actually smiles at you.
Time's a ticking. We've got 2.5 months.
Perhaps the easiest of the questions so far to answer. The normalcy that you're looking for, Oak, she holds her hand up, and with just a simple motion, the rapid passages of time happening outside the window comes to a stop. And you watch as the full moon settles to where just a tiny little bit is peeking up over the horizon. With her other hand, she looks over at you, Billy. Already, Billy, you feel that tenseness as when the full moon appears. You feel the threat of an oncoming transformation. And Ashley Raven holds her hand up, and she goes like this. And just like that, the rage and the tension draws out of you. By the time the sun rises on this next day, after which you entered this house, that normalcy will find you. And the new experiment will begin. She stands up and she walks across the room and she crouches down next to Coop. Kenny Cooper, I know that you've heard everything that has happened in this room so far.
Ooh.
You've had plenty of time to formulate your own question. Go ahead and sit up. Do you sit up?
No, Coop doesn't trust this bitch. He's just
No, absolutely not.
Nah, just keep napping. Thanks. Bye.
She glances across the room at Persephone. Persephone's warm hand leaves your hand, Rosie, and she practically glides across the room, and she crouches down next to you, Coop. You feel her presence. She reaches a hand out, and she doesn't take the memory of what happened away from you, but she blurs the harsh edges of it, scrubs away at the traumatic portion of it. But she also, as she touches the end of your hand where Rosie bandaged it, you feel the pain begin to numb, the throbbing ease. You still feel the phantom sensation of the hand that's not there, but Persephone has taken your pain away. It's okay, Coop. You can ask your question if you want. And she gently places a hand under the back of your neck, attempting to guide you up, but with just enough pressure that if you don't want to sit up, she's not going to force you. Sorry, I'm also seeing the panic in Tamiko's.
I would do a t-shirt ad right now, but I can't do more than one per episode.
It's fine. What is it? Coop sits up and he says, I know that you're trying to be all big and godly, or whatever it is you people are acting like, but the only question I have for you is, how could you betray us like that, Persephone?
What makes you think that I've betrayed you? I have helped you ever since we first talked. Am I not helping you now?
at the time, and you seemed really nice and helpful. But it's all a lie. You're in cahoots with her. And she's been nothing but terrible to us.
I'm sorry you feel that way, Coop. Persephone stands up and she looks around at all of you. Do you all feel that way?
Can we have feelings again, please, GM?
For the moment, no.
Okay.
For just the moment, I'm going to say, hold on. You don't have your true memories still.
Except for this guy.
So she asked the question again. Do you all feel this way? And then she seems to kind of look and see. And she walks over and she begins to just almost glide around the room, gently reaching out and touching Laz's hand and over to Rosie's hand, touching briefly Jessica and Anne, and touching each one of you in turn. And as she does so, the false memories that she implanted fall away. But she doesn't blur the edges. And as she does so, Coop, the blurred edges come into sharp focus and the pain returns to your hand.
Ooh, ooh, ooh.
Do you all feel like I have betrayed you?
Abso-fucking-lutely.
Laz? Do you not trust me anymore?
No. Not at all.
Billy, tell me you trust me.
Well, this bitch right here has been a thorn in our side from the beginning. Seeing you all cozy definitely does not give us the feeling of trust. Had you been forthright from the beginning about whatever this relationship is, then maybe. But it is what it is. And this whole complex situation, it's literally been the scientists against half a dozen kids for the summer, turning us into their sick playthings. If you're on their side, that means you're not on ours.
Jessica and Anne? Have you not even a shred of trust left for me? Do you feel betrayed as well?
Jessica looks sick, A. But B, she looks at Ashley Raven to see her reaction to this.
Go ahead and make a grit check.
Five.
I did a contested grit. I rolled a 4.
Yes.
You see Ashley is her eyes are flicking from Persephone to each of you in turn. Like, for the first time, you get this sense that Ashley doesn't seem to quite know what's happening. She's trying to disguise it, but you get the sense that if she had any semblance of control over Persephone, she's losing it. Please, Surely you have the compassion between the two of you. Still trust me.
Jessica looks. You can't be serious.
If you're not going to trust me,
Oh my god.
then say it.
I think everyone has.
Oak. Everybody else is forsaking me.
And at this point, I think he'll stand up from the chair. He'll stand up from the chair that he's in, and he'll walk up close to her. You know what? I liked Templeton. And I liked James. And hell, I was even liking you too. But now, we all got scars. All of us. And if you stare at them long enough, you remember that they're there. So I'm not going to forget this. None of us are. And if you think I'm going to trust you now, I'm not going to trust you ever. And he points to his head. Next time, maybe you think about that.
She is standing in the middle of the room, looking around at each of you and looking like for something from somebody. Every single one of you. Every single one of you betrayed me. I thought you could be trusted. I thought you would give me that trust in turn. I told you that they are all of them heathens and devils, and they are unworthy of the gifts that you are giving them. She's yelling at Ashley Raven now. I will make sure that in the next iteration and the iteration after that and all the iterations until the end of time or until you breathe your last breath, you do not forget me. I would like each one of you to please roll me a D100.
This is terrifying. This is like that 1 second when Galadriel went evil.
Nah, it's that one moment where frickin'
53.
it's Bilbo's scary face.
A little bit of column A, a little bit of column B. You got a 53 and 89. Oh,
Got the answer to life, the universe, and everything.
Oh, Coop. As she says this, and she says, I will make sure that you remember me until it's the last thought you have. I will give you trauma. And she reaches her hand out, and Coop, you are raised up off the floor.
Ooh.
And you are floating in the air.
I know how this ends in Baldur's Gate 3. I don't like this.
I cannot. If I could, I would rip every bone from every fiber of every muscle, from every layer of skin, every tooth and bone.
Fireplace poker.
Okay.
Okay.
I mean, I can't stop you, but we'll see what happens.
I'm sure it's not going to end well.
So this is going to be your fight.
Oh my god, incredible.
This is going to be your fight, and it is going to be her brawn. Which where's my die? Okay. So Okay.
Okay. So I'm sitting at an 8. I think I want to spend at least.
You do not need to spend a single
Oh.
domain pop because I rolled a 2.
Good.
That means
How about the
in this situation, you. Wait, sorry. The attacker's roll is greater. You had an 8, you said?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Go ahead and explain how you attack her, and I will finish it up and take us out.
Okay. So she's lording her power over Coop, dangling him like this marionette in the middle of the room, monologuing, and obviously things are about to get really bad. And I think Laz just stands up, lets go of Rosie's hand, and brings the fireplace poker hook point down straight into the top of her head.
Oh. Ooh.
As the poker comes down on her head, where her hand is holding Coop, as she's saying these words, you feel your skin getting tight. Every bone in your body hurts. You feel as though you're being stretched in every direction. And then, Coop, you fall to the floor. You see her, Persephone, turn and look at you, Laz. The poker is embedded in the top of her head. And she just turns and looks at you and says, all I wanted was trust. I could have been everything you needed. I know I'm not her, but I could have been your mother, Rosie.
Oh.
I'm so tired. My head hurts. And that is the last thing she says as she falls backwards. And as she hits the floor, there's the clattering of the fireplace poker, a puff of dust, and there is no sign of Persephone. And that is where we're going to end tonight's session. Thank you all for indulging me as we went a half hour over. I didn't intend to go that long, but we're in the end game. We're in the end game, and
what needs to happen needs to happen.
There were things that, so I was ready to wrap up a half hour ago, and then you guys started pressing in certain directions, and I'm like, all right, I got to go with this. I will say, from a game master point of view, you guys got a lot more information tonight than I intended to give you, but it's because of the way you play the game. So kudos to you. But I also hope and feel like I also gave you a lot more questions.
Yeah,
Yes.
as usual.
Which is good.
Yeah, I'm whirling right now.
Same.
All right. So I just want to say a huge thank you to everybody who's hung out with us in chat. And I saw we got some bits, we got some subscriptions and some gift subs, some amazing 5 gift subs from Dice on Ice, Purple Swirl. I awarded the domain pop because I know Purple Swirl also donated a couple hundred bits in a previous stream. I somehow my brain can remember that stuff, so I awarded that. But also it looks like we got a couple more subs, and we got rated by formerly known as Emily. So thank you for that raid as well. Thank you if you are somebody that likes to lurk quietly in the chat, hang out with us. We appreciate you, or maybe you're watching later on the VOD. Leave us a comment on the YouTube VOD. Let us know what you thought. And you can catch all of our back episodes there as well. Make sure you're here next week, Thursday, for the finale of season 1 of Kids on Bikes. Welcome to Paradise, Michigan. The ending is just beginning. Thank you. Thank you to each and every one of you for being such amazing players. And I love the fact that you listen and you ride along with the story until your character can't take it anymore, and then you yank the reins and have to see if I'm gonna
kill
go.
somebody with a fireplace poker.
And yeah, I was not expecting that. I had a different ending in mind.
I don't think
but
Laz was either.
But yeah, no, that's what I love about these games. Even I don't know what's going to happen. And when sometimes we let the dice decide these stories or our own in character moments. So thank you all for the investment that you put into these characters and these games. I tell you all this a million times, but I love and appreciate each and every one of you for what you bring to this game and just for being the awesome people you are and amazing friends. So thank you, Chad, Tamiko, Carrie, Ted, Jeremy, and Em, without whom this would have just been me scaring the shit out of myself for a couple hours. With that, we're going to go ahead and end this stream the same way we end every stream. And you can say it with me if you want.
How about Persephone? No, bitch.